Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this NACE Overwatch stream. I'm your host, Son of Gary, joined by my co-caster, Jasper, and we've got a good one for you tonight. The final game of Premier Overwatch's NACE regular season, going up against Boise State, and right now we're getting ready to load right in the lobby here.
That's right. We're in for an intense match today.
Yeah, should be a good one. As we load in, the first map here is going to be Antarctic Peninsula, and not a map we've really seen too much of from Mizzou esports so far this year, but it is very favorable to these brawl comps, which are been pretty popular in this current meta. So as the gates get ready to open, we'll see what they choose to roll out on here, and it's going to be a pretty standard setup for Mizzou esports. Some unconventional picks for Boise State. Junkrat coming in, not a pick we see too often.
Looks like the teams are meeting here on this high ground in the middle. Deflect is out. There's the accretion. Mizzou is being forced back into this corner. A nice rock from Clairvoyant. And the Junkrat Moose does get picked there. Yeah, it looks like it will be Mizzou coming out on top in this exchange. Just cleaning up the last fights, and capture will be coming through shortly.
Yeah, we saw a nice early pickoff there from Gambit with that tactical grenade, just kind of picking off, I believe it was the Baptiste at range. He's been a very stellar player on this Bastion pick throughout the whole season, really. I mean, Bastion's a very powerful character, so just to have a player that's can kind of master the hero. I think mastery is a bit of a loose term when it comes to a hero like Bastion, but Gambit is definitely well-versed on this hero.
Like some initial posturing. Kel on the side of Boise State is contesting the point here, but it looks like Backsag Bud is going to be able to... Ooh.
Yeah, nice rock comes out there from Kel.
The trade does come through with Gambit being able to take out Kel there.
Oh, and the shots connect from Gambit. Gambit grabs two.
A well-placed tactical grenade as well will force out those remaining members.
Yeah, I just really haven't seen much come out from the Junkrat here from Boise State. I assume, like, obviously the goal of the Junkrat is that you just want to be able to get that, like, very oppressive spam damage in onto the shield and onto the members of Mizzou when they're clumped up in this sort of brawl setup, but just not seeing much of that come through. We'll see if he's able to get anything with this Riptire coming online, but with the Immortality Field and the Sound Barrier available, I'm not sure it's going to be able to do much of anything, but the artillery strike is... Tommy Slummy doesn't turn around fast enough to heal Backstab, but Backstab Bud still picks up Moose, though.
And with Clairvoyant falling, we're going to try and hold on as... Mizzou's going to try and hold on as long as they can here.
Oh, Kel able to take out Backstab, but Gambit so close to getting the elimination onto the enemy Bastion, but just not able to confirm it, and the turret farm comes out from Plato as he's able to clean up. Mizzou going to be coming out of that fight at 90%, as Ashley's just going to head back to spawn, taxi Gambit back to the fight. Interesting swap coming out from Boise, though. Moose has moved over to Widowmaker. This is not a terrible map for Widowmaker, this sub-level point. Some good angles around this sort of like bowl-shaped point that you can kind of play around, but definitely going to be on them to land those shots. Soundbeer comes out.
Nice Immortality Field there, and the Amplification Matrix comes out as well. The Blade as well, just really putting every ultimate...
Backstab Bud gets shut down while in the Blade. Moose actually got a headshot kill during the middle of that, so that Widowmaker pick definitely paying off. Still, a nice rock comes through from Clairvoyant. And Bastion Gambit. Mizzou, they're forcing Boise State back. Yeah, Gambit.
Chosen on the Baptiste.
And they're actually going to be able to flip this over. Mizzou actually going to be taking away sub-level out from under Boise State's nose. The early pickoff from Moose just wasn't enough as Gambit and Clairvoyant make their way to the point and stake their claim. That's going to be a 1-0 lead here on Antarctic Peninsula. Yeah, looks like next map we're going to be heading over to is Labs. I don't really know why they call this one Labs. It doesn't really feel like a Labs point.
It's
very outdoors for lab.
The least lab equipment I've seen. I feel like there's More lab equipment to be found on University.
Yeah. It looks like Boise State potentially looking to go back towards a more traditional pick. They've got this Symmetra rolling out here. We'll see if they actually they are actually going to opt to stick on it. Backstab Bud just TPs his team out and swaps back to that Genji pick. So Moose no longer going to be getting experimental with the Junkrat or anything like that. Both teams kind of meeting up towards this high ground here.
And it looks like Boise State gets early control over the high ground. But we'll see if Mizzou can turn it around again.
Yeah, they've got the Sim turret set up in this spot, which makes it a little bit difficult for Clairvoyant to walk forward, but he's able to clear that. Gambit's able to clear Moose. Mizzou, they've got their entry, they got that Bastion down, and that's a lion's share of the damage off the table for Boise State. Or excuse me, the Symmetra down. They still have the Bastion available, but Mizzou, they're going to be making their way over to the point. Tommy Salami is low off to the side, though, and Ashley's going to get picked off. Mizzou, I think they'll be able to get first cap, but they're not going to be able to hang on to it.
Yeah, forced to retreat here.
Yeah, it looks like
hovering in this area, trying to get some poke damage in, increase that ult charge.
Clairvoyant working his way up to this flux. Tommy Salami also going to have that amplification matrix ready to go in this next fight. They decide to push that high ground. This just could be an explosive play. However, Chosen has his available too. I assume we're probably going to see these ultimates mirrored. Ant Matrix, comes out from Tommy Salami, but the rot comes through from Kel. Shuts that right down. Plato's good for 3. And yeah, Backstab Bud going to be heading back to spawn. Not swapping, opting to stick on this Genji pick. 71% of the way to that blade. But more ultimates coming online for Boise State. That was a fairly dry fight for them. They only invested the Ant Matrix.
Very close here in ultimate charge as well across the two teams.
Yeah, the key difference there is Moose is going to have that photon barrier up a little bit earlier than Backstab Bud is going to get that blade. We'll see.
A nice tactical grenade pushes the Baptiste out, forced for a moment to retreat.
Yeah, Mizzou's going at this from an interesting angle, trying to flip the map first, get early presence on this point.
Gravitic Flux comes out.
Oh, here comes the artillery strike from Gambit's going to be able to take out Kel.
Good for
Plato
one.
was able to get Tommy Salami in the middle of that, though, and that is definitely a dangerous pickup, but...
Takes out Moose.
Oh, and Lyric...
Clean up.
Oh, Lyric opted to use Sound Barrier during the middle of that. I'm not even sure if that hit anyone but himself. An expensive fight for Boise State, and they don't get anything out of it. Still, a lot of ultimates used by Mizzou. 80% on the board for Boise. Crucially, though, they did manage to hang on to that Sound Barrier from Ashley, so they will be coming into this next point with at least one ultimate to boot, going up against this Gravitic Flux from Kel. You see Backstab, but getting some early pick. The rest of Mizzou backing up as
The Gravitic Flux comes out, but the Sound Barrier is there to keep the members of Mizzou safe. A nice tactical grenade again. Forces Moose to retreat for a moment.
Oh,
but that beam is ramping up.
Lamp goes down from Tommy Salami, as does the amplification matrix, but it's not finding anything.
With that Symmetra.
Yeah, Moose just gets charged up during the middle of that and rampages his way through the Missouri backline. Gambit going to be opting to move over to Sojourn here, trying to find an isolated pickoff. As this point ticks up closer to 90%, Mizzou's going to have to come in for a touch here. It's probably going to have to be Backstab, but this is going to be close. No ultimates available for Mizzou. Meanwhile, they're playing into an Ant Matrix and a Photon Barrier. Backstab Bud gets the touch, but that Ant Matrix is rolling on the high ground. There's a Bastion in front of it, and Clairvoyant is out in the open. He's going to fall very quickly there. Ashley goes down to Plato once again. That's a 4K from the Bastion. Make it 5. Plato makes himself known there. And Mizzou is going to fall here on Lab, sending us to a third and final round here on Antarctic Peninsula.
Very exciting point there. Lots of back and forth. Very close in the ultimate economy, but it just fell apart a little bit at the end there. That blade was a little bit slower to build, and Boise was really able to capitalize on that advantage.
Yeah. Now we're moving over to Icebreaker. This is definitely, I would say, probably the most unique of these points on this map, as it's definitely the tightest of the three. It's by far the most favorable to Brawl. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Clairvoyant maybe opt for a Ryan here. Although it does look like he's just going to be sticking on this Sigma pick. Backstep Butt is going to be moving over to Mei. I like this swap on this map in particular, given the close quarters nature. And yeah, it's going to be the same comp for Boise State with the Symmetra.
Actually, with a late swap onto Symmetra there, so they actually don't get to the high ground first here.
Oh, that's a beautiful wall from Backstep Bud. Kel isolated
taken out.
off. And Gambit just cleaning up right now. Mizzou swarming over to the objective. Once again, just a beautiful wall coming out there from Backstep, but splits Kel off from the Baptiste. No immortality field, no healing, able to come through. And Backstep Bud, with that recently buffed Mei DPS, just able to cleave him down alongside Gambit.
Exactly the advantage we needed to start this fight off strong.
Oh, and here's an interesting swap. Moose has moved over to Pharah as well as Lyric onto Mercy. So this comp is going to be significantly slower in the front line, but you have that aerial presence of the Pharah. Gambit's able to chunk it down, but Plato is able to trade it out. Tommy Salami gone, which means a lot of the sustain off the table for Mizzou.
Just isolated. Immortality field comes out. Ooh.
Backstep, but trying
Nice
to look for it.
there.
Able to get it onto Chosen, but is Mizzou going to be able to keep this going? I don't really think so. Clairvoyant able to get one onto Lyric. Actually cleaning up. Clairvoyant good for 2. There's 2 members surrounding him. He's low HP. Got the kinetic grasp out. He jukes the rock.
Possible.
Oh, and Tommy Salami's able to get back. Clairvoyant has clutched this out. Able to stay alive on this Sigma pick. Kel's gonna fall, and Mizzou holds on to the objective. Some more trade picks coming out, but wow. That was a beautiful stall from Clairvoyant, waiting for his teammate to get back. This isn't over yet, though. Lyric able to fly back onto the point, get the resurrection onto Kel. Gravitic Flux came out from Clairvoyant. I'm not sure that was able to get much of anything. Meanwhile, Gambit has moved over to the Ash. And it looks like finally Boise State, after Mizzou kind of had some staggers there, able to finally get control of the objective with this Pharah Mercy comp.
However, crucially, we have Blizzard available.
Yeah, it looks like Backstep, but opting to stay on this Mei pick, as most of the rest of the team is kind of swapping over to a counter composition for this Pharah. Clairvoyant obviously moving over onto D.Va. Walking up here, trying to put some pressure on the main court, and there comes the Blizzard from Backstep, but it's able to freeze up too. Kel and Plato frozen up. No kill able to come through onto either of them, and Moose lets loose the barrage, takes out Gambit. Still, he falls for it. It's a trade, and the beat is going to come out from Ashley. Mizzou working their way forward. Chosen goes down. Gravitic Flux coming out from Kel, but Plato traded out. Kel not able to find anything with that Gravitic Flux, and Mizzou, they're working their way forward. Kinetic Grass able to stall out a little bit longer for Kel, but eventually he is going to fall here to the D.Va from Clairvoyant. It's too much damage in his face, and Mizzou, they're going to regain control of this objective at 73%.
Crucially, in the midst of that fight, Mizzou actually flipped the point while still pressing forward and securing those eliminations. So they were able to actually gain progress while snowballing that fight.
Yeah, this is going to send it into last fight territory for Boise State. They're going to have to come back onto this point fast. They've actually gone to a quick swap of compositions over to this Zarya, trying to counter this D.Va. But they're coming in here with no ultimates, very late. We're already going to be at 99%. Amplification Matrix comes out, but Clairvoyant is walled off. He's extremely low. The Immortality Field comes out from Tommy Salami, though. Saves him. Self-destruct out onto the point. Not going to be able to find anything. Moose trades out his equal in backstep up, but Gambit's Bob. It's doing big work in the backline. Tommy Salami able to take out Moose, and it's just a Lucio alive here for Boise State. Mizzou is going to be able to clean up here and take the first map here in this series against Boise State. Some beautiful plays coming out across the board there.
Impressive stuff.
Yeah, that's going to send Mizzou to a 1-0 lead in this series. We're going to be heading to Hybrid next. I mean, just a great win there. Some great reads. Boise State trying to throw some weird stuff at Mizzou. Not able to get it working with the Junkrat, with the Symmetra. The Symmetra worked a bit on Labs, but the Pharah definitely got shut down by Gambit,
for sure.
moving over to that Ash pick. So we are going to be heading over to our Map 2 Hybrid pick. Up next after that, that'll be Boise's pick. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back. Mizzou Esports up 1-0 here in this NACE Overwatch series over Boise State, the top-ranked team in their division. Looking pretty good coming out of Antarctic Peninsula.
Yeah, definitely some exciting stuff. Boise State trying to switch up the strategy, catch Mizzou off guard, and just nothing was successful for them.
Yeah, we're heading into map 2 now. It's going to be Boise State's pick, and they've opted to take us over to Kings Row. A pretty popular pick overall for most teams. Obviously gained the nickname of Scrims Row because everybody plays this map in scrims. Both teams look like they're going to be rolling out on similar to strategies to last map. Mizzou going to be opting to the for the strat that they played at the beginning of Icebreaker, which was this pretty standard meta setup of the map, Sigma Lucio alongside the May and Bastion DPS lineup. As for Boise State, it looks like they're going to do much of the same, except it does look like they're going to go back to this Junkrat pick. This wasn't very effective on the first round of Antarctic Peninsula, so I'm curious to see what they think they can get out of it.
Some nice shots coming through there right away from the May here.
Yeah, looks like a little bit of disruption coming through from the Junkrat, able to make his way through Hotel, get some conch mines off, but right now Kel is just completely out on an island. Backstep button, Clairvoyant make the call to converge on him, and there is some big damage coming through. The lamp comes out to save his life, but he is eventually going to fall. Chosen able to trade out Ashley, and Moose actually finds Gambit in the back line, but low health bars all across the board for Boise State. There's still some trades coming through though. Plato consistently getting a lot of value on this Bastion pick, and actually with just 3 members alive, Boise State able to clean up this objective.
Yeah, they managed to flip that around just through that immortality field. Really came in clutch there. It wasn't able to save Kel in the end, but it prolonged the inevitable long enough that the rest of Boise State was able to get a lot of damage onto those members that had converged around that isolated Sigma.
Yeah, and it seems like sort of the point of this Junkrat pick is maybe just to put more pressure on Gambit to prevent this Bastion from getting as much value. As I say that, Gambit takes out the Junkrat from range with the tactical grenade, so a lot of that damage off the table for Boise State. They still have this Bastion available. Go wheels up and put a lot of pressure on that front line, but right now they're playing slow. They don't want to move into this space with just 4. They're going to wait for this Junkrat to get back here. Backstep Bud has this Blizzard ready to go though. Probably going to be priming to use this when Boise decides to walk. Instead, Plato's going to invest the artillery strike. Looks like Clairvoyant sent the Gravitic Flux in, not able to find anything. Gambit also launches in that artillery strike, but gets countered up by that immortality field from Chosen.
At a bit of a stalemate here as far as ultimates are going.
Got it.
The amplification matrix.
One way to solve an ultimate stalemate, more ultimates. Blizzard and looked like, what was that? Just Blizzard coming out to counter Chosen's amplification matrix. Moose launching in the Junkrat tire. I'm assuming he's going to try and get a pick with this and then swap. The entire team. Okay, Gambit able to take it out with the tactical grenade, and yeah, Moose going to be moving over to the May, going to mirror Backstep Bud on this pick.
And now we are fully mirrored as far as compositions are concerned.
Yeah, some important cooldowns coming out early from Boise State. Gravitic Flux and Sound Barrier invested, but Backstep Bud and Moose both go down. I mean, Immortality Field out. Bastion Turret form, trying to focus down Clairvoyant, but he has the Kinetic Grasp available. He's just going to be able to live in this corner right now. They're just not able to evict this Sigma, as Boise State are struggling to find a way to get through this choke. Kel's just going to walk in aggressively and gets completely punished for that. I don't know what he was thinking there. Artillery strike comes in from Gambit and shuts the Sigma down.
Mizzou are just playing so well around this choke. It seems like every single fight, they have the tools to stop Boise State from being able to break through. They always have some sort of advantage that they are able to leverage here. And this fight is no different. We're coming into it with a Gravitic Flux available for Clairvoyant.
Oh, Clairvoyant is very low, though. Oh, and that was actually a really good boop. I believe that was from Lyric, booping Clairvoyant out of the Immortality field. The Baptiste not able to save him there. And Boise State finally, after a long set of fights where they just were getting no ground, able to get through this choke on Kings Row B.
Right. Coming up into this next fight, we do still have the Gravitic Flux available for Clairvoyant here. Aside from that, we're pretty even as far as ultimates go. Notably, Boise State does have the Amplification Matrix available. Tommy Salami likely to build it very soon in this fight.
Yeah, it looks like Backstep Bud just able to cut off that Amp Matrix with his Ice Wall, but that's going to deny a lot of time for Mizzou. Allow Boise to get that cart rolling.
Oh no!
Flux goes wide, but Kel once again out on an island, and Mizzou, they are converging on him. Oh, look at that. They make the call, they converge on that Sigma, and he is just taken out immediately. Kel just consistently finding himself in isolated positions. Almost C9 during the middle of that. The cart 0.5 meters away from the objective, but able to get back to it in the end. Gambit focusing and on cleaning up those isolated last few targets as Mizzou Esports is going to take the fight win just outside of the checkpoint.
A nice bit of tech there, launching with the tactical grenade to get onto the high ground. We'll see how useful this proves in the next fight. Or maybe we'll just drop off immediately.
Yeah, it looks like Lyric playing up to get a little bit of scouting there. Not sure what that was about. Blizzard's online for both Maze, but crucially, Ashley has this sound barrier available. Beat Lyric to that. I would expect her to use that possibly to counter the Gravitic Flux from Kel. Blizzard comes out. Oh, sound barrier comes out early though. Not sure that was completely necessary. Plato also able to get Gambit with that artillery strike.
Blizzard comes out.
Blizzard from Backstep Bud.
Isolated on the high ground, but no one can really do anything about it. Sound barrier comes out on the side of Boise State.
Yeah,
May doing a lot of damage with that cleave.
Oh, a nice quick reaction from Backstep Bud to cut off that Amp Matrix, but doesn't stop Plato from focusing down both supports for Mizzou Esports. Gambit able to trade out one, able to find that Bastion with the artillery strike, but it's not going to amount to much. Kel able to clean up Clairvoyant, and there's all the point presence gone for Mizzou Esports. It looks like Boise State's just going to be able to roll this in with 30 seconds to go. And they will be making their way into the third point here on Kings Row.
Once again, it looks like Clairvoyant is ahead here in the race to the Gravitic Flux. Backstep Bud as well, closer to the Blizzard. The question is, do we have an opportunity to see those ultimates come into play before Boise State is able to get theirs?
Yeah, Boise State might just opt to take a dry fight here. Oh, Lyric almost gets caught out. Actually able to find a boop onto Backstep Bud though, and that is exactly what Boise needed there. Getting a pick without having to invest any ultimates, and they get the Gravitic Flux out from Clairvoyant with no purchase. Oh, this is a really good fight for Boise. Clairvoyant able to get one pick off in the backline, but Mizzou is going to fall here. It's just a 5v2 here out on point.
That was an expensive fight. Gravitic Flux came out and only a few seconds really were bought.
Yeah, and crucially, no ultimates expended from Boise. In fact, they just managed to make their way up to almost 5 ultimates here. Backstep Bud able to, he's going to have to come in with the touch. Actually, it's going to be Clairvoyant. He gets frozen up by the Blizzard coming out from Moose, but Backstep Bud chucks in one of his own. It's going to get countered by the sound barrier and the immortality field from the Boise State supports, but it's buying time. Backstep Bud also able to turn around, get that pick onto Moose. Kel, though, crucially, grabs 2 picks. Gambit trying his best to trade it out. Ashley trying to dance around this point, stay alive, but not able to do so, and Kel is standing strong on this Sigma pick. It's just Tommy Salami coming out on the Kiriko pick. Clairvoyant going to be able to get some last-minute stall on the Doomfist, but it is too little, too late, and Boise State is going to cap with 14 seconds to go, crucially capping with time here on Kings Row.
That proactive Blizzard coming out from Moose, not really catching anyone in particular, but it prevented the entire Mizzou team from following up on the Blizzard that Backstep Bud was able to put out there.
Yeah, and crucially, it also forced out defensive resources for Mizzou. I believe Thomas Lummy chucked in the immortality field there to save Clairvoyant from the Blizzard, but not able to have that doesn't have that available later in the fight when you do that. So as Boise State continued to have just a barrage of ultimates online, they're able to chuck those in, and just no answer from the side of Mizzou with no defensive tools.
We're going to see very similar compositions coming out here. In fact, the exact same compositions. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, I mean, Boise State largely seems to be abandoning their sort of shenanigans from the first map, just sticking on these more traditional Bastion Mace setups instead of like the Junkrat or anything. Mizzou not doing any sillies in the first place. They're just playing this tried and true setup and executing it fairly well. I mean, 14 seconds to go on the clock. Not too bad in the grand scheme of things. So as they roll out, we'll see what sort of route they're going to take here coming out of spawn. Looks like Boise State just opting to play on point here. Not going to be doing anything around like statue, although they do have Plato playing in hotel, so could watch out. Might have to watch out for the Bastion.
Nice wall there.
Lurking off to the side. Force out some defensive resources. The Rock and Kinetic Grasp expended by Kel, but Clairvoyant caught out a little bit here. Icewall's going to have to come out defensively from Backstab, but to save Clairvoyant from Plato in that configuration sentry. And right now, Mizzou forced to back up. They're just poking right now. Kel able to grab a lot of overshield with that Kinetic Grasp. Oh, the wall able to cut Kel off from his supports, but Ashley goes in a little too far, and Kel makes her pay the price. Nice rock there. Backstab Bud is good for one on the exit, but it's going to be Boise cleaning up here. Still, a tick actually acquired for Mizzou during the middle of that. I'm not sure really how that happened, but some permanent progress up on this point, which is 1+.
Looking at the ultimates here, Clairvoyant really getting caught out there early seemed to have dealt a massive hit. Ooh.
Oh, great defensive immortality field there from Tommy Salami. Otherwise, Gambit was definitely going to fall to that Amp Matrix otherwise. Going to throw out his own Amp Matrix here. Clairvoyant is going to fall, but Mizzou has an advantage here on this objective. They need to get Kel down, though. He's low on defensive resources, but the peel comes in from the artillery strike from Plato, consistently finding value with this Bastion pick. Plato has just been on a tear this match. Still, a bit more permanent progress gained for Mizzou. They get another tick there, so slowly but surely they're inching their way towards capturing this objective fully. Surely next fight they'll get the third one.
And notably in this fight, they're coming into it with 4 ultimates, whereas Boise State, they're going to have 3. They're missing that artillery strike.
Yeah. Oh, Plato used his sentry form really early during the middle of that. Clairvoyant, I believe, missed another flux there. And yeah, Moose is going to chuck in the Blizzard, freeze up Clairvoyant. A counter Blizzard coming in from Backstab, but it's going to freeze up the Lucio and May. They're able to get the kill onto Lyric and Moose, actually. Ashley, good for 2. Plato trying to get some value on this Bastion pick, just kind of charging into the backline there. Able to find 2. Gonna trade his life for it, though, and a wall is gonna split off Kel from his backline that really doesn't exist anymore. Clairvoyant coming in on the Doomfist pick, shuts down Chosen, who chose poorly to invest the Ant Matrix during the middle of that.
And it looks like we're swapping back onto that Sigma now that the speed is no longer needed just to get onto point there.
Yeah, it was a bit of a last-minute swap. Timer ticking down, but Clairvoyant going to go back over to this tried and tested Sigma. Interestingly, Moose has made the swap over to Symmetra. That's going to be a lot more upfront damage at the cost of not being able to zone off Clairvoyant with the May wall. And we're going to see an early artillery strike come in from Plato. It's able to force out the immortality field from Tommy Salami, but not finding much else. A lot of defensive resources being expended. The shield goes down. Kel, no shield available, no Kinetic Grasp available either. He's going to check out the rock, try and find Backstab Bud, but he's just going to dodge it with the Ice Block. And once again, Kel is just out on an island. Thankfully, he's going to be able to get sped back to his team. Lyric doing a good job there with the peel, but Backstab Bud able to find a headshot onto Moose. Finally opening this fight up for Mizzou. Kel able to answer right back, though. Backstab Bud is going to have to fall here. And Mizzou, without that May and the utility of the wall, they're going to back off a little bit. Going to come back in here with... Oh, Clairvoyant is having a rough time with these fluxes today. I mean, just gets rocked out of his. Ashley's going to be able to cancel out Kel's flux with the... Oh. Okay, that was a little bit of a silly play from Clairvoyant. I assume he didn't realize how long Chosen's Ant Matrix was going to last there. Decides to peek that, gets a face full of Bastion spam. Not an ideal situation for Mizzou. 3 ults expended in that fight for no gain. Meanwhile, you're going to be playing into another artillery strike from Plato. Lyric getting close to the sound barrier as well. Still, nothing available really to counter the Blizzard from Backstab Bud, so that could be a crucial entry point for Mizzou as they decide to wrap around this left side. Plato going to launch in his artillery strike to try and disrupt this rotation, and he finds purchase. Gambit falls. Clairvoyant going to trade out Moose, but Plato pops the wheels, able to get down Tommy Salami. That's Mizzou sustain off the table, and that is going to be a fight win for Boise.
However, Mizzou, again, did not use any ultimates there. So we will be coming into this fight with Amplification Matrix available from Tommy Salami and a Blizzard available for Backstab Bud.
I just want to point out how fast Bastion gets his ult. Plato's already 50% of the way to another Bastion ult. He has just been churning these out over the course of this series. They need to get value with this Blizzard from Backstab Bud. But actually, it's going to be an aggressive beat from Boise State. Lyric opting to throw the sound barrier in early. And I think that was a big mistake.
Did not pay off.
Yeah, Plato forced to overextend to get out of the range of that Blizzard. And Gambit just chews through the members of Boise as they try desperately to escape the icy grip of Backstab Bud.
Looks like this will probably be the cap here for Mizzou.
Yeah, I'm not sure any member of Boise is going to be either fast enough or willing to touch here. Yeah, as they're just going to go ahead and give this up. This is probably the smart play, not trying to expend more resources in a fight that most likely is not going to be won. Interesting Gravitic Flux coming out from Clairvoyant. Finally able to land this one, and combos with Gambit and the artillery strike. Good for 2. Make that 4 and 5. Mizzou Esports cleaning up here as they really want to get this momentum rolling into this last point of Kings Row. Minute 30 to go on the clock. They have a good chance of matching or surpassing Boise State's time bank here.
Stack the scary circles. It's a classic strategy, and it really paid off there. That ultimate combination. Ooh. Huge there.
Ooh, Immortality Field has to come out from Tommy Salami to save Clairvoyant. Not able to do enough, though. Clairvoyant falling to the Bastion there from Plato once again. Just cleaning up here on this very destructive pick. And yeah, Mizzou, they're going to have to go for a quick reset here. Just a minute to go. Payload knocking on the door of that golden box to, well, it's not exactly victory here, because Boise capped as well, but golden box of mediocrity.
It's going to be a tough fight with the artillery strike and the Blizzard available. Both can buy a lot of time, if not just get picks outright. We do have, for Ashley, the sound barrier.
I do not like Gambit's positioning here. Lyric is looking for a boop. Eventually going to back off as Mizzou walks forward. Oh, crucially, Ashley scouts out Moose on the flank there. Moose is looking for the flank Blizzard, and Ashley lays down the sound barrier. A crucial play from the Lucio there. Chosen, able to focus down Clairvoyant in the end, but Gambit's going to trade out Moose. Still, Plato with this configuration sentry going in, getting Ashley and Gambit down. Backs up, but throws in the Blizzard, but it looks like Kel's just going to back out of the way of it. It's not able to find any purchase, and as he tries to focus down Lyric, he's not able to get the elimination. It's speed swaps coming through for Missouri to try and touch onto this point, but Plato's able to focus down the Doom Fist. The Lucio gets a quick touch, but it's probably not going to be enough. Gambit trying desperately to keep this overtime rolling on this Tracer, but it just is not going to happen. Boise State able to take away Kings Row and equalize the series 1-1.
A very, very close series there, right? We saw a lot of back and forth. Mizzou, especially early on defense there, held Boise State at that very first choke after first point for quite a long time.
Yeah, Mizzou struggling to find an answer here for this Bastion pick coming out from Plato, just consistently finding multiple picks, fight after fight after fight. We're going to send this to a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Map 3 Flashpoint right after this short break. Welcome back. The series is tied up 1-1 after Mizzou Esports fell on map 2 Kings Row. We're going to be heading into Mizzou Esports' flashpoint pick for map 3, which is going to be New Junk City.
Looks like we're coming out very different comps here, assuming that we stay on this, but we'll be seeing the Junker Queen and a composition more oriented around that as opposed to our standard Sigma. Boise State so far opting to stick with their Sigma comp that they've been using the past several.
Yeah, and I think this is a little bit dangerous for Boise State. This Junker Queen pick on these more fast-paced, close-range flashpoint maps, very much able to just get on top of other setups like this Sigma setup, which is going to play a lot slower and just kind of rip and tear through the back line. So Mizzou actually able to get out onto the point a lot faster than Boise by merit of that Symmetra teleporter. So they're going to have early angles to set up here with backstep, but on this high ground, Boise opting to take a wide angle off to this right side, trying to set up a defensive sort of angle with this Symmetra teleporter. Oh, but they're actually going to send the Bastion up onto the high ground with the TP. Gambit able to shut down the Bastion, but not before Plato takes out Ashley. Still, Mizzou going to be the first ones onto this point, and forcing Boise to come to them. This is beneficial to them, as this comp wants to fight close range. They want to be able to get this Junker Queen healing online. Oh, Gambit shoots Moose right in the skull. Able to take out the Symmetra. First cap coming through from Mizzou Esports, and this is crucial in these flashpoint maps as those points tick up so fast.
Right now, and now Boise has the difficult prospect of trying to push onto this Junker Queen, who is able to just play around this point. Ooh.
Yeah, backstep, but tries to get in with the deflect, but Lyric just able to chew through that with the Lucio boop. Still, Gambit finds Plato, able to take out that Bastion. Once again, that's just been the key point of presence here for this Boise State composition. This just constant damage coming out from the Bastion. Clairvoyant, though, stuck between a rock and a hard place. That place being an amplification matrix put out by Chosen, trying to get these this adrenaline rush healing going, but just not able to keep it rolling against the oppressive DPS from that Mei. Still, 80% on the board for Mizzou on this first point here on New Junk City. They're working their way up to some ultimates. Actually, almost gonna have 4 coming into this next fight. Backstep, but just a little bit behind trying to get this blade online.
Right, and this ultimate advantage really is going to be huge here. The Gravitic Flux and the Sound Barrier from Boise State are coming up. Blizzard.
Ooh, a lot of ultimates coming out across the board. It looks like Moose did not get the benefit of Lyric's Sound Barrier, though, so he is going to fall. Plato able to trade out one backstep, but just having a rough time on this Genji pick. But through a bunch of ults coming out, Mizzou Esports is able to converge on the rest of Boise State. Finishes off Kel. That's good. That stagger is pretty much going to secure this point for them. I don't think anybody's going to be able to touch it. Even if they do, Boise State's too staggered to get any purchase here. And actually, Kel opting to swap over to Zarya as Mizzou Esports takes this first point. They're going to be able to rotate over to this next point, which is going to be Refinery.
And Mizzou actually has kept the ultimate advantage here. Boise has both DPS ultimates available, but Mizzou will have the both DPS ultimates as well as the Sound Barrier.
Yeah, they're able to get some early presence on this point, but Gambit takes a face full of damage, forced to slide out of the way. Able to get out of there before, backstep, but kind of just jumps into the artillery strike there. Not sure what the plan was. Plato, once again, finding 2. This Bastion just constantly churning out value for Boise State. This is what they are living and dying by. Still, Gambit being elusive here, sticking in the corner, hangs onto that slide, able to get away from Kel, trying to hunt him down on this Zarya pick. He has a fully charged rail ready to go, dumps it into Kel, takes him down to half HP, but the Bastion is there to back him up. Kel able to finally finish off Gambit, but Clairvoyant still hanging around this point, still being a nuisance, not able to touch. Boise State is going to be able to get the flip here.
That Sound Barrier is still available as a tool for Mizzou to be able to use here, but Boise is coming up on the Kitsune Rush, which proactively could cause a lot of trouble for Mizzou.
Yeah, I think you're most likely going to see Ashley just dump out that sound barrier to counter. Actually, it's just going to be mirrored rushes on both sides. Gambit trying to use this to good effect with the spam damage from Sojourn, but just getting zoned back by Plato on that Bastion. You really just do not want to peek that Bastion when he is under the effects of that Kiriko ult. Both ults expiring now. Mizzou Sports has an entry. Crucially, they weren't forced to use Ashley's sound barrier to counter the Kitsune rush, and they have it available for this Graviton Surge. Great play from Ashley, holding on to the beat. Oh, backs up, but he knows where this Kiriko is. Able to get the slash, able to get the finish. Who doesn't want to mess with the Sojourn, though. Oh, no. Moose actually slides over and steals the health pack right out from Backstab Bud's nose. And Boise State didn't give up control of the point during that entire exchange. They're going to be able to take Refinery. Mizzou Esports going back to the drawing board here. Or, well, not really. They haven't swapped, but gonna have to figure something else out.
Yeah, Boise State able to hold on there despite the ultimates used. And now it's looking tricky for Mizzou. Since they had to respawn, they actually will be getting to the point first. So they do have the advantage of defending this point here.
Yeah, able to make their way over onto the bomb flats. A tactical grenade comes out from Plato, gets some early chip damage in. This artillery strike. Oh, it forces Backstep Bud to walk forward right into the line of sight of Moose, who takes him out with the charge shot. Still, Clairvoyant gonna rip out this Rampage, just gets cleansed by Chosen, and he's right in the line of fire of Plato, who takes him out along with Tommy Salami and Gambit. Plato finishes up that fight with 3 final blows. Once again, struggling to deal with this Bastion. Clairvoyant actually gonna opt to mirror the Zarya here. This is interesting. Backstep Bud gonna move over to Tracer as well. I'm not sure how I feel about this swap. I assume Clairvoyant just feels confident enough in his ability to play this hero at a higher level than Kel. But he's gonna have to get charged up here. Not a problem playing into that much spam damage. Able to get a quick 40 energy up here, posturing forward, but down both bubbles. Mizzou, they need some sort of entry. Here comes the turret form from
used from Kel.
Ooh, Backstep Bud actually able to take out Kel, oversteps a little bit. And the turret form down from Plato. Tommy Salami's going to opt to invest the Kitsune Rush into this fight just to close it out, and Mizzou is able to get the cap onto the point. Actually, if they can stag up Plato here, oh, that's big. They'll be able to get some good percentage here. And so far, the swap's working out here. Backstep Bud able to do a lot of work on the Tracer in that fight, actually able to earn himself all the way up to a Pulse Bomb already. As Mizzou, they're going to play forward here.
Kel a little bit overconfident in that fight, I think. Thought that they were safe, but with the Tracer swap coming in, able to just come in on the flank and finish off.
Cool little micro play I saw there. They just had Tommy Salami take an aggressive angle and bubbled him to get Clairvoyant a bunch of energy and just TP's back to safety. Not going to matter too much. Overclock and Sound Barrier coming out from Boise State here, and this is just a decisive fight victory for them. Not much fight put up at all by Mizzou Esports in that engagement, and this is going to be last fight territory. Just a reminder, these flashpoints tick up so much more quickly than those control points. Mizzou is going to be pressed to get a touch here. Ashley trying to escort the team over to this bomb flats point, but they're going to be playing into a Graviton Surge and Kitsune Rush from Boise State. They need a touch. Ashley's there with the Sound Barrier, and somebody was able to touch. I think it's Backstep, but on this Tracer, the overhealth from the Sound Barrier is going to expire. Plato, he's going to throw in the Artillery Strike, and Kel actually able to take out Backstep, but just being a nuisance on this Tracer in the backline. Still Kel going dangerously low. He's low on bubbles. Ashley gets a boot kill onto Moose, but is it going to be enough? Clairvoyant falls. Chosen a nice dagger headshot onto him. Gambit has the overclock ready to go if he wants to invest it. Not going to choose to do so, though. Able to get one headshot kill onto Chosen, but just going to hold on to this ultimate for the next point.
For a moment there, it looked very much like Mizzou was going to be able to flip it, but Boise State able to hold on there. It did cost them, though. Mizzou now, once again, ahead in the ultimate economy with the overclock and the Graviton Surge available.
Yeah, Boise gets a little bit lucky with the point, just moving right over to this junkyard where they're just going to be able to set up a nice defensive advantage early. It looks like they're going to be able to move over to the high ground on the right side. This is going to be a great angle for Plato to fire down here. I mentioned, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, Moose actually moved over to Sojourn, so a lot of long-range damage coming out for this composition from Boise State. They're going to be moving forward. Turret form comes out, but the Graviton Surge, it looks like it wrapped Kel around that wall. The Immortality Field from Chosen, not able to get any value and save Kel. And Gambit just goes in with the Overclock, finishes out this fight. And Mizzou, they're going to be able to claim Junkard here. Chosen just opts to launch himself off the side of the map to reset to prevent any further staggers for Boise. Mizzou setting themselves up in a good position on this 4th point here.
A little bit of Zarya parkour here. There we go.
There we go. You got the rock climber skin on, man. You got to do better than that. Clairvoyant, very low on energy. Actually, only has like about 20 to go. A stick comes through from backstab, but countered up by the Immortality Field from Chosen. Plato not able to find anything with our artillery strike. I think he may have exited that early in response to the pulse bomb. He is going to be moving forward with that configuration sentry. I don't think he's able to get anything, though. Counter sound barrier coming out from Ashley, and Tommy Slumby able to trade out Moose. This is a great fight for Mizzou Esports as the point is ticking up over 80%. Immortality Field and Amplification Matrix coming out from Boise State. The Bastion is positioned behind this. Mizzou cannot peek this. Kel trying to walk forward onto this point. He's out of bubbles, though. He's low on energy. Gambit, he's charging up for a charge shot, not able to find anything, but Plato, Clairvoyant, gets into the backline and focuses down that Bastion. Still, Kel doesn't want to give this up. He launches in the Graviton Surge to try and equal out this fight, but it's not going to be enough. Kel, Chosen, Lyric, Moose, they all fall, and Mizzou Esports is going to send this to a 5th round here on Flashpoint. They really want this win.
And here, once again, Mizzou up in the ultimate economy with that Graviton Surge used by Kel to no effect. Mizzou has that still available. That's a huge advantage going into this point.
Yeah, and crucially, due to those overtime spawns, Mizzou is going to be able to move over to Ducks a bit faster than Boise State is going to be able to. Moose opting to swap over to Torbjorn. I guess he's had enough of backstab, but just running through his backline on this Tracer pick. Wants a little bit more pressure on that flanker. Clairvoyant has the Graviton Surge ready to go. He's waiting out Kel's bubbles. This could be a big one. Gambit has the Overclock ready to go as well, and it's a big one. Catches multiple backstep, but with the Pulse Bomb finds Moose and Lyric. And Mizzou, they are ready to go on this 5th point. They're going to stagger up Plato a little bit too. Oh, the Bastion tried to get it back in the wheels up mode. Not able to find anything, and he's just going to go down late. This is going to be a lot of point percentage ticking up for Mizzou here.
And there it was. That was the huge advantage of the Graviton Surge coming into that fight that Boise State just didn't have an answer for.
All they have coming into this fight is going to be the configuration artillery. They're going to be close to support ults, but Ashley and Tommy Slumby have beat them there. They're going to have these amplification matrices and sound barrier ready to go. In response, Tommy Salami launches out his amplification matrix first, but Plato goes in with that artillery strike, able to take out Gambit. Moose finds Tommy Salami, and a great engagement from Boise State is going to get them the flip at 65%.
Maybe a little bit overzealous there to pop both the overclock and the amplification matrix there. Boise State were able to just back into that choke again.
We're back to square one, back to the Sigma. A lot of counter swapping coming through in this map. Backstab Bud just had enough of getting countered by Moose on that Torbjorn, I guess. Doesn't want to play into that turret setup here on Ducks, so he's going to be able to move. He's going to be moving over to this Sojourn. Clairvoyant also going to be moving over to Sigma, but Moose an early pick off onto Ashley, and Mizzou forced back. Plato behind the Ant Matrix, able to catch Clairvoyant on the retreat, and Mizzou is on the run. Going to have maybe one good fight here left.
It's down to the wire here. This fight will decide the map.
Yeah, this is last fight here for sure. Ooh, Gambit taking some really early damage, but Plato actually uses his configuration sentry really early and Chosen in a really wild position. The Baptiste gets cut off. That's all the sustain gone for the side of Boise State. They're going to throw in, it looked like Lyric Sound Barrier came out there. Gambit falls very low. Lyric's able to catch him out as this point ticks up above 99%. Clairvoyant, his rock goes wide, but the backstab but has his back there as Plato falls by the hands of his railgun shot. It's just Kel alive on this point. Still a high charge Zarya, not something you want to mess around with, and as Clairvoyant gives his life. In the end there, this could be dangerous. Boise State has an opening to come back in here at 99%. Backstab Bud has no supports here. He's 120 HP. And Boise State, they have an entry here. They're going to be down Kel, but they've got the Symmetra here. They've got the Baptiste. Bastion close to that configuration artillery. Gambit's able to get the touch on the Tracer, but Plato, he's in this artillery mode. Oh, and Moose is able to take him out with the right click. Gambit is down. Clairvoyant trying to get back. Backstab Bud has to come up big with this overclock here, but the artillery strike comes out from Plato, hits Clairvoyant in the jump, takes out that Sigma immediately. Here comes the overclock from Backstab, but the Graviton Surge from Kel's able to take him out, and Plato finished it off with 3 kills. An extremely close Flashpoint map goes the way of Boise State, unfortunately.
That was incredibly close. That last fight there, Mizzou just really needed an early pick to be able to deal with the Graviton Surge there, and just were not able to find it.
Yeah, it was really that second to last fight where everybody got staggered out, and really that ended up working more in Boise's favor than Mizzou with those really long overtime spawns, just not able to get everybody on that point in time for the full engagement. It's Mizzou down match point now for Boise State as we head to our map 4 push. That's going to be Mizzou's pick. We're going to send it to a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this. Welcome back. Mizzou Esports down 2-1 in this series against Boise State. We're heading into what could be the decisive match here in this series. Mizzou Esports has elected to take us to Coliseo for our push map. Bit of an interesting pick, a very favorable map to brawl. So it seems like Mizzou wants to lean more on that sort of strategy, but Boise State, they are putting up quite the fight.
Yeah, very curious what we'll end up seeing here as far as compositions from these teams. We've seen a little bit of everything through this series.
Yeah, it looks like actually gonna end up being a mirror for both teams going in with Bastion and Sojourn. Both teams seeming to want to abandon the Mei here. I kind of understand that, as, I mean, this map is close range, but it doesn't really have those tight kind of chokes that you would normally want from Mei. Instead, you have this long straightaway, which can be very beneficial for those long range picks. So we'll see what they're able to do with this here. Plato's going to be the first to invest his turret form into the fight. Not able to find any purchase with it, though, besides a little bit of ult charge gained. And it's actually Clairvoyant. Has the aggressive position here. Able to get a little bit of distance on the bot, 0.09 meters, but going to have to back off here. Relying on Gambit and Backstep, but to just put down a bunch of suppressing fire. Kinetic Grasp comes out to save himself from that barrage of damage coming out from the Bastion, but he is getting pressured heavily by Kel, and Kel's actually able to take out Backstep, but in the meantime, that's a lot of damage off the table for Mizzou here. Gambit going to throw in configuration sentry here. Gets rocked. Able to fire back, though. A lot of damage absorbed there from Kel as the Sigma is just making his way into the backline. Tommy Salami is getting pressured heavily as Mizzou is just trying to back around and find a safe anchor on this corner, but Amplification Matrix just comes out. Clairvoyant gets rocked in the face, and Plato able to convert for the elimination onto Gambit. Finally break this stalemate at the beginning of Colosseo.
Yeah, Mizzou not willing to answer with any ultimates there. The Amplification Matrix was well placed, and by that time it was already too late. But coming into this fight, Mizzou will have almost 5 ultimates. Potentially during this fight we could see all 5. Boise State just use the Amplification Matrix. All the other ultimates are available. So this could be a very intense fight here.
Yeah, Ashley crucially able to get the sound barrier online, but it is not enough to stop the damage coming through from that artillery strike. Flux combo. Plato just continuing to be a thorn in Mizzou's side throughout this entire match. This Bastion, they have no answer for it.
And Boise State has already gotten the push bot to the checkpoint here. So they're going to have forward spawns.
That's devastating here on this map, especially. That checkpoint, I mean, getting forward spawn on this map with how far forward the spawn is compared to the other 2 push maps, that is just a, I mean, that's just big.
Especially so early in the series. It looks like the the
ultimate's getting invested
strike
here. Both DPS ults thrown in for Mizzou, and it's able to get them the fight win. Boise State only throwing in their own overclock into that engagement. Now to be able to find any purchase with it. Actually, a correction there. Backstep Bud did not use his overclock. That was just a normal charge shot from him. Just a good shot there. So Mizzou, they are still going to have 3 ultimates coming into this engagement. They're just going to be playing into Lyric Sound Barrier. Chosen working his way up towards an Amplification Matrix, but it's going to be Tommy Salami's coming out first, buying a lot of space for Mizzou as they finally get some push progress here. Gambit taking a lot of damage, so the Immortality Field forced out early from Tommy Salami, and it's not able to save Clairvoyant's life there. Plato able to take him down.
Plato again in the right place at the right time. Mizzou just doesn't have an answer for this Bastion. Always seems to be in the perfect position.
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of damage coming into Clairvoyant there. He has to play so carefully, and Tommy Salami, I mean, just can't be using Immortality Field at inopportune times, but a lot of the times he just doesn't have a choice. Other members of the team getting focused down, and Plato is doing a great job of taking advantage of that, just going wheels up when the resources are off the table and just focusing down all these members. Rock comes out to try and cancel Clairvoyant's Flux. It's not going to get anything, though, but the Immortality Field from Chosen going to cancel it out, as is the Sound Barrier coming out from Lyric. And once again, Plato, he just goes wheels up. Gambit's in his line of sight, goes down. The Bastion just cleans up once again. Mizzou not able to find anything to deal with this.
Boise State coming down this final stretch here. Mizzou, not a whole lot to answer with. They have the Sound Barrier available, but Boise State has the Flux. They're going to have the Amplification Matrix, which will be a really difficult to play into on this long, narrow corridor with very little cover.
Plato used his sentry form early there, so he's not going to have that available as Clairvoyant tries to walk forward here, but Kel is doing a great job occupying this space himself. Gambit's going to chuck in the artillery strike, but Moose on the off angle just takes out Tommy Salami, able to get the other support as well. The Sojourn is going crazy. Backstep, but able to punish him for it, but it's not nearly enough.
We have a last-ditch effort coming up here. We have Tommy Salami's amplification matrix going to come out very soon here just to contest this point.
Yeah, Boise State knocking on the door of a full cap here on Colosseo. Mirrored Amp Matrix is coming out, and Clairvoyant finally able to shut down Plato at the top of this engagement. Gambit also able to get a pick through the Amp Matrix with that tactical grenade, and finally able to find a stop here on Colosseo. But with 126 meters on the board for Boise State, this is looking like a intense uphill climb for Mizzou.
Absolutely. Coming into this fight with overclock into a artillery strike coming up very soon. The gravitic flux and the sound barrier both available. Mizzou are going to need to find some picks without any ultimates.
Moose, and speaking of picks without ultimates, Moose comes out on the Widowmaker here, trying to find just an early pickoff down this long midway. We see a lot of fights take place here, just drag on for like sometimes minutes on end. In the end, it's not Moose on the Widowmaker that ends that fight. Rather, Plato once again coming back in on that Bastion and just ripping and tearing through Mizzou's front line.
Yeah, it's tricky here. Ooh, just a lot of pressure. Even just walking out of spawn is a challenge for Mizzou right now.
Now we see the disadvantage of the Widowmaker pick is that it can be pretty vulnerable, and that's also what you can describe Mizzou when they are caught in Kel's gravitic flux as Plato lays in the artillery strike. Payload getting dangerously close to this final checkpoint. Clairvoyant comes out on the Desperation Doomfist swap. Actually gets his Empowered Punch canceled as Plato just ripping through him. Backstab, Gambit actually able to get the one clip onto the Widowmaker here. So there is an opening here for Mizzou to possibly bring this back. Kel on this Sigma. Gambit just trying to dance around the damage coming out, but eventually they're able to finish this off. And I think Mizzou, they're actually going to opt to switch to this Doomfist setup. Probably a bit of a counter composition in response to this Widowmaker pick coming out. Going to try this full dive, see if they can get any purchase with it. And I'm assuming Moose is going to swap after that. You just don't play an aggressive position on Widow like that unless you're just trying to get a pick and then swap. And actually, no, going to have to stay on this Widowmaker pick. I'm not sure if he was able to get the forward spawn there. Regardless, the rest of Boise State is already here on this midway, and Chosen just pumps a lot of damage into backstep, but as he tries to dive onto that Baptiste, Plato able to take out the Lucio in the meantime. And Mizzou, this hyper-aggressive setup not really working for them initially, as Lyric able to take down Gambit.
Now Mizzou is in retreat mode, just trying to escape with their lives.
And I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Clairvoyant not able to get out of there. I think he tried to punch the safety, but Lyric just jumped in front of him and prevented that punch from being used for the mobility. Yeah,
Mizzou
now
are coming up on some ultimates here.
Yeah.
Boise State as well have proven time and time again that these artillery strikes can be really just great value here.
And speaking of the devil, and he shall arrive. Here comes the artillery strike from Plato. Not able to find anything as Clairvoyant is punching his way into this Boise State backline. A nice empowered punch catches Chu. Able to get the pick onto Moose. Still Chosen able to trade out Gambit. And they gotta watch out for this Bastion in turret form, able to take out Clairvoyant. The Baptiste is so low here in the backline. Backstep, but though he's getting pressured back by both supports. The peel from the Lucio is going crazy right now. Moose actually is gonna swap onto Sombra, really wanting to shut down this Doomfist pick. As Plato go to stick to this Bastion, I mean, I think Clairvoyant's just in for a rough time here. Oh, Gambit gets hacked on the engagement. No blinks. Oh. during that lockout period, and yeah, just gets focused down there. Everyone also hacked up backstep, but though able to get into the backline, find Lyric, but Plato trades it right back out. Ashley goes down. I think that may have been an Ajax. Soundberry looked like it was expended there. Still Clairvoyant able to get in the back line, takes down Plato. Moose, I believe, jumped off the map. I don't know what happened there, but
into
Mizzou
overtime
is, yeah, they've got these overtime spawns rolling, and they're going to be able to get some progress on the board. Moose is going to swap over to Tracer, getting off that Sombra pick, and really just the sound barrier online here for Boise State. Gambit's got a pulse bomb ready to go. He's going to need to go big with this. Plato takes a lot of early chip damage. I think that was coming through from backstep, Bud, and Tommy Salami. But, I mean, Mizzou just cannot give up an early pickoff here. They need to play safe. Backstep Bud just dodges out of the way of that rock from Kel, but he's falling extremely low. Still, Plato very low on this Bastion. Gambit able to... No, not actually able to get the elimination as the sound barrier comes out from Lyric, and Moose is able to trade out backstep, but Chosen able to take down Tommy Salami. Gambit able to find one with the pulse bomb. They're still in this. The Immortality field is out on the field, though, and that is a lot of survivability available for Boise State. Ashley able to trade out the Lucio. Clairvoyant, the last-ditch effort with the Meteor Strike on point, but the rock comes through from Kel, shuts down the Doomfist, and Boise State is going to take Coliseo and the series.
Yeah, towards the end there, Mizzou was finally seeming to answer that Bastion, but it still wasn't enough. It was too little, too late, and the rest of the team was still able to just put on the pressure.
Yeah, fortunately for Mizzou and Boise State for that matter, this match really had no implications on postseason seeding. I believe coming into this match, both these teams were locked into their positions. Boise State is going to finish first in this NACE division. They will have an automatic spot going into playoffs. Mizzou finishing third behind Oakland Esports. Both of those teams will be heading into last chance qualifiers with the potential to play for a playoff spot here in this NACE tournament. So not out yet. Last match of the regular season, but we still going to have some postseason content coming for you in these next couple weeks, as well as our NACE tournament, which is still running. So there's still going to be a lot of good Overwatch content for you to watch as we go into the back half of the semester here.
Right. This has been a great series. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.